Ladies and gentlemen, it only took us about like half an hour or more but we finally got both of the teams in their entirety. Team Empire versus Gambit Esports here in the Perfect World Masters CIS qualifiers. My name is Dragon Job. I'm joined by Delta Fox Bravo. DFB, how are you doing?
I am doing so great this Friday morning, at least in the United States. Good afternoon to all my European friends, and good evening to any Chinese or Southeast Asian people watching on the other side of the world. I am so happy this game got started.
Well, it is what it is, but let's talk about it really quickly while we have the draft going. Of course, Empire, they had some issues with some of the players being stuck in traffic and unexpected updates and things like that. That happens sometimes in Dota. Now they're finally here, but they did get the reserve time kind of gimped, only a minute instead of the 2 minutes and 10 seconds that you normally get. So they have to be a little bit swifter with the draft, but judging by their previous drafts, it shouldn't be much of an issue, right? You see the Ancient Apparition, they also keep drafting the Venomancer, and of course also the Enchantress from Iposhka. They've played in all of their last two series, except when it's been banned, like it's been banned here, so I figure Empire know what they want.
Yeah, they've been playing a lot of Dota, playing a lot of the qualifiers, and so I would imagine that, yeah, the same thing. They would probably just drop to like the standard draft, or maybe a pool of 3 heroes for everybody. So yeah, they're going pretty standard for them. Picking up the Ancient Apparition and the Sven, and Gambit, opting to go for more of this kind of vision game, with the Nature's Prophet, with the Treant Scouting and the Nature's Prophet. So a lot, very aggressive, for Gambit Esports for their opening here. How do you think they would respond here coming to the second ban? Probably, I haven't seen Earthshaker ban yet, so I would expect an Earthshaker ban. What do you think?
Yeah, something like that, something that can go against the Nature's Prophet and Night Stalker. Nyx Assassin, thankfully, has already been banned out by Team Empire, so that's one of the classic counters to the NP. But yeah, you just need to find heroes that are doing well enough against all of this aggression, but it is kind of hard.
That's true. I mean, I find it interesting that they banned Viper. I think Viper would be a really good hero for them. He's not a hero. When you have a hero like Nature's Prophet, just kind of a greedier offlaner, and so you want a mid laner or a carry that's not as farm intensive. So I think Viper could have fit in that role. And he's also really good against AA, and AA with his magical resistance, with his corrosive skin, and able to control the Sven out
Yep.
pretty well. So I actually find it pretty interesting that they banned Viper out. Maybe they wanted something like a TA mid, more tempo, more speed to their game.
Yeah. Ideally, what you want if you have a Nature's Prophet is have lanes that are very gankable, and that what I mean by that is a hero that can provide that extra bit of damage or extra bit of control, that can go ham himself, with Nature's Prophet just TPing in the back and providing a bit of extra control with Sprout and just the damage from the pretty strong right clicks. So it's Viper would have fit that, sure, but there's also plenty of others. Like you said, the TA, which wouldn't be too bad this game either, and some others like Mirana, also still in the field. Empire went for that a couple of times in the last couple of matches, and yeah, we'll see what they'll do.
I guess it works against them too, because Viper is a hard lane to gank, especially if it's a NP and Night Stalker. I mean, you'd have to bring in a lot of numbers to bring a hero like Viper down. But it's Gambit's pick here. I guess, like, what do you think, like, the strategy is? Like, when the other team has less time, do you just try to pick as quickly as possible, or do you just draft normally and just do your normal talks? What do you think the strategy would be for that?
I think you draft normally and just take it for what it is. I mean, I think you really need to focus on what you want and take the time for yourself rather than trying to outgame a team like Team Empire in the drafting stage like that. Just something very minor that's just a circumstance.
Yeah, I know that Complexity or Swindle Melons for a while. I don't know if he still does this, but for about a couple of years, he was in favor of just drafting really, really fast, because he was in the mindset that it gives the other team less time to think, and you're not using your time. So you use their time to think about what you're going to do, and so you don't allow the other team to use your time to think what they want to do too. So, but yeah, I think you're right. Just, it doesn't matter. Just play your draft, play your game. It's in that same kind of that tree of thought. But Gambit picking up Bane, really good hero against Sven. A hero that we've been seeing crop up a little bit here and there. Only in the CIS and the EU region though. Have you seen Bane in other regions?
Not really, not that I know.
Yeah, I have not
Bane
really
for
seen him in
CS.
NA either.
Yeah. Incidentally, Team Empire has won the match against M19 in this very qualifiers with 2 Bane picks, so
Yeah,
they're no
that's
stranger
true.
to that hero, so perhaps a bit of a block pick as well for Gambit esports. But as you said, great against Sven. Super good 5 position in terms of stabilizing some sort of lane, be it mid, be it safe lane. And with that, yeah, we might very well see safe lane that is completely self-sufficient. So it's not just the Bane helping out mid, but also the Night Stalker free to roam around wherever he pleases. So looks to be like an all guns facing forward kind of lineup here for Gambit so far. But Team Empire, they get the Earth Spirit, so trying to do a bit of the same things.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good hero. I know that they play it pretty well on their Earth Spirit. And it's a really good hero against Bane. Just, I mean, it'll have 2 long range ways to silence its stun. If he ever gets a Fiend Script up on anyone, Earth Spirit usually is going to rely on one of those abilities to get his teammates out of trouble. And on top of that, it's very super mobile. You can get into the Nature's Prophet, you can get away from the Night Stalker if he's not silenced. But Razor coming in for Gambit Esports. I think Gambit's just going all in on this Sven. They're just going all full counter on the Sven. They're going Sprouts. They're going Enfeeble. They're going Fiend's Grip. They're going Link. Of course, Sven for a little bit. If he pops his God Strength out, doesn't really care about Link just because he has so much bonus damage. But yeah, Razor can eventually present a huge issue to Sven. But Team Empire picking up the Darkseer. So classic Darkseer Earth Spirit combination with those rolls and the Ion Shell.
Darkseer Sven as well.
Yeah. What do you think about the second phase, Dragon?
Well, Razor, as I said, very good against any sort of melee core. And I really like the Darkseer response, just because it's kind of mitigating some of the issues that Sven's going to face. Because the one big problem that any sort of Sven can face, the one way to counter him out effectively, is to just kite him to all end. And Gambit Esports have a few ways to do that, even beyond the slows. That's a thing that he has to build a BKB for, like the Bane control, and has to rely on his teammates to just cancel the grip if it comes out on him. Nature's Prophet Sprout is going to have to keep a Quelling Blade at hand for that. But outside of that, the Darkseer Surge will be able to help him out, not to mention his own Blink setting up with a Vacuum for a good Sven stun and some easy swipes. So
yeah,
I think they're doing their best to enable the Sven.
Can you purge off Sven's Warcry?
Yes.
Yeah, so if Sven Warcries and tries to stun the Razor, then it will get purged off. So not a bad idea. I actually kind of find it kind of funny that Gambit would ban out Viper and then pick Razor, because Razor and Viper are kind of 2 heroes that get put in that same category. A lot of times they're seen as very similar in terms of their playstyle. You deny a lane and you kind of take out. They're kind of seen as like anti carries in a way. Yeah. And so I just find it funny that Gambit would pick this Razor after banning the Viper, but maybe they want to have a little bit more lane sustain and have better lane pressure. But Team Empire banning out Bloodseeker, Gambit banning out Mirana, their last picks, and we're going to see a Queen of Pain for that mid lane. Team Empire taking advantage of that Viper pick that I mentioned earlier. So the pure damage, the amount of gank, the team fight is really strong for Team Empire. What do you think that Gambit might pick up for their last pick? Do you think this is a mid Razor or a carry Razor? I think they did.
I think this should still be mid Razor. It's a reasonable matchup against the Queen of Pain. Qual can't really harass him as much with Poison Dagger as he wants to, as the Queen of Pain normally wants to. So I think should still be alright, especially with the Bane also potentially hanging around.
That's true. I think the Razor and the Bane might want to lane together in the safe lane. You can get a lot of damage off if you static link and then sleep. Bane is really good here against Darkseer, and because he can't surge away, and having that ability to suck off the damage and maybe harass him might not be a bad plan. But we're going to see a Troll Warlord, so I guess you were right. This will be a mid Razor, and Troll Warlord will be going to the safe lane unless they do something really crazy, but it does not appear so.
I was thinking perhaps maybe the Bloodseeker. They played Troll as well, Bloodseeker, in their recent series in the Perfect World Masters, so none of these heroes are too big of a surprise. But Bloodseeker, especially up against the Darkseer, I would consider to be a pretty good laning counter, just because you don't really care about the Ion Shell on the creeps. But Troll Warlord having that ranged option also has ways to not be affected by that as much.
Yeah, that is true. He's able to kite that ability, and if gets a little bit of head and is able to get a quick Mask of Death, some troll warlords will opt for either Mask of Madness or Vlad's, then he can, mitigate that Ion Shell damage out just a little bit more, and have an easier time in the lane. But all the teams are picked up, so I guess they're in their strategy phase now. Who do you think has the edge in this draft?
Good question actually. I want to give it to Gambit Esports, especially with this last Queen of Pain as well. It's very vulnerable to like a Night Stalker roaming in, especially at nighttime, obviously with the 5-second silence, and the Nature's Prophet has just proven to be so strong in the last couple of weeks. So I want to give them the edge here.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that Empire. You said you give Gambit the edge?
Yeah.
No, I think I'm gonna give Empire the edge. I think that they have some ways in lacking in terms of initiating a fight. I think that the counter initiation and initiation for Team Empire is a little bit stronger. If Gambit is able to get rolling, like they have to play a kind of on a snowball kind of tempo, and I don't think that's. I think that Empire might have the heroes to stop that. It'll all depend on that first and second night to see where this Night Stalker and NP can link up in terms of their ganks.
Well, definitely have to see. Just judging by the previous matchups between these two teams, that has been a while ago though. It was a 3 versus 2 in the best of 5 in the Overpower Cup. That was like 2 months ago. So teams have changed a little bit since then.
Teams have changed. The meta has changed just a tiny bit.
Oh yeah. But it should definitely be a competitive series here. And that's all we're looking forward to. It is the upper bracket, by the way. In case you weren't aware. Empire beat out M19 in the first round. And Gambit beat out Vega Squadron, actually. So that's good on them.
Yeah, Vega Squadron was looking pretty good. We're going to see an Invasion on the top lane and Invasion on the bottom lane.
Kuman sticking around. He really wants to have that bounty rune, but Chappie leading the charge. Having that stun makes it impossible. So it's going to be a... Oh, Ghostic actually finding his own bounty rune. And get some damage stolen. But hey, as a result, Empire will start off with 3 bounty runes.
Not too shabby. Ghostic will pay for his sins, though, for stealing that.
Bigman coming in, extra slow. Oh, could have perhaps gotten that kill. If Daxter kept chasing, but at the same time, you really don't want to miss out on the lane XP. Yeah,
that's a lot of lane experience. You're going to see an immediate pause for Team Empire.
Question mark.
I'm going to assume that's ping 200.
I guess.
Just go. They're going to go.
But yeah, Daxter will make it to the top lane just in time for the last right click. There it is. Or the first right click.
Nice. Value chase.
Pretty much, right? You get a off control in. Already forced out a style from Ghostic. And a lot of his region. He's still sitting on 3 clarity, so he will be able to spam out that Iron Shell to his heart's content.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit careful, man, getting cancel it out. But because Queen of Pain does have good range, he's trying to play the range there. But why is he not canceling the clarity? There you go, FN. Good job.
Still takes a lot of damage in turn. Okay, what? I did not quite expect that. I'm sorry. But Amy Pushka and Vansko, we're working together here. The roll with the slow. Shielding touch to provide that extra bit of damage, and they do actually catch out Nature's Prophet in the sides. Was playing defensively, but apparently not offensively enough in this bottom lane.
Oh, alright. Actually found it pretty funny what Empire did. Or not Empire, Gambit did on their own top lane. They blocked out their camp, so Darkseer wouldn't have that camp to pull.
Yep.
So he can farm that up pretty well with his Ion Shells once he gets a little bit more levels in there.
Oh yeah. Happens very often on the Radiant lane, like when Darkseer is on the Dire off lane. Arguably a little bit easier, but obviously the same thing can happen there as well. Yeah. Bignum found himself Haste Rune already level 2, so we're trying to annoy Ghostic inside the jungle a little bit. Not sure if we can actually get the kill, because Ghostic should be tanky enough, but He's getting some of these last hits and the experience. Meanwhile,
I mean,
on bottom.
the
Okay, they're gonna go again. The stun
bottom
start off
lane.
with follow up, and yeah, this is probably the same way it went the last time around.
Yeah, this is a crazy amount of kill potential. Just because, you know, that stun to that cold feet. I mean, he has that chilling touch, so that's, you know, plus 50 magic damage. It's just nothing to scoff at. A lot of
Yeah.
people think, oh, chilling touch, whatever, but that ability is plus 150 damage just on 3 right clicks. You apply that to 3 people, that's what, 450 magic damage? It's insane.
Extremely strong in the early phase of the game, in particular.
So Team Empire coming up ahead. They're focusing on trying to keep down Cheshire Cat. But he's going to stick to this bottom lane. He's not going to opt to go to the jungle just yet.
Well, as you say that, he might have made the decision anyway.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, bottom lane is being pushed and pulled, and you can't really contest that stack with all of this pressure. But speaking of pressure, it's now moving towards middle lane. Pushka sitting in his tree line, unseen so far, unless they scouted that rotation with the observer ward. Guess they did bring Bignum in here to kind of babysit a little bit. Meanwhile,
Yeah,
always
Queen
on the fly is just trying to take over the job of annoying the Darks here.
Yeah, I think Queen of Pain has a little bit of an advantage here just because of that range. We're going to see a big roll in from Miposhka. Nothing to be had there, though.
Losing patience there, but yeah, I don't think that would really turn into anything.
Yeah, maybe he might be trying to make a way for his top lane, but he's going to stack first for his team. Get that Sven nice and juicy farm.
Chappie's gonna have his work cut out for him this game, that's for sure. He already has his big stack on his hard camp down there at the bottom as well. He can farm up eventually. So, in the laning stage so far, Empire has gotten the better end, even though this rotation towards mid did really end up paying off. Might find something else, so blink across, always on the fly. They just need to connect with the roll, and they will always on the fly, unable to dodge it. Throws down a nightmare, but well, that'll be taken over by the helpful Darks here. So FN can get the last right click in. Easy kill for him.
Well played, good team play there. That ward paying off, that early ward there.
Yeah. Meanwhile though, look at mid lane. Bignum. It is nighttime now. He's level 3, does have that early point in silence because he's up against the Queen of Pain. That'll help them, especially with Cheshire Cat also coming in. The right clicks are there, they even get the bash. Oh man. There's a pro troll wallet right there. Bash when you need to.
Yeah, I don't think if he doesn't get that bash there, he might have been able just to get away just because Kuma might not have been in range. I mean, he could have switched to the counter range or to his ranged form, but yeah, that bash sorely needed. But they're not done yet. They're kind of wrapping back around.
Well, there they are. Empire getting a few heroes of their own, but Anscore is not really able to help out, especially with Cheshire Cat finding him inside the trees, always on fly. Automatic rotation, he gets rolled on though by Miposhka, and now, oh, nice little stun there on 2. Trying to turn this around, Nightmare briefly, but we're taken off by his own buddy. And with that chilling touch available, they don't want to continue fighting into that. Instead, we'll go wait for that to expire, shrine up in the meantime, and perhaps try again.
Yeah, a little bit of miscommunication there on who they wanted to go on. But everything just evens out. The Bignum is sticking around here, actually.
Yeah. Does have that extra vision. And now walking in towards FN, but can't quite get the signs up just yet. But hey, there's the Sprout after the blink. FN still in a lot of trouble. The X is slow and the right clicks are enough. Bignum claiming that kill for himself, and we're seeing this aggressive potential from the Night Stalker and the Nature's Prophet together.
Yeah, it's actually coming in pretty well for them. This is kind of the start they needed. They needed to be a little bit more aggressive so they can set that tempo. By no means is completely there for them just yet, but
Bignum actually tanks the roll. He's more tanky now, also has the flying available. Good team play there. As Chappie made rotation all the way up top. It's actually hurting him quite a bit. Unless he wants to farm the big stack anyway.
It's got an ancient stack for him. And he's got a couple of stacks for him. He's happy making this rotation.
Well,
give his buddy Vance score that sweet delicious XP.
Figure out that the A is down here. I would assume though that Bignum making his path over there, but instead he finds Ghost Stick. The push go rolling on mid, but that'll be dodged out.
Oh. Yeah, the important part is though that Bignum misguided that stack. I mean, he's got it out a little bit earlier, but it's good to know that that's there. so his team can be aware if Sven is off the map for a little bit too long, so he might be going there to that stack.
Now he's sticking around, just soaking some of that experience on normal camps. At the very least, Nature's Prophet, he's getting a lot of space down here. Oh,
Yeah,
look at how low he is, Bignum. Extra slow, a couple of right clicks will do the job here. He gets slowed down himself. Nice stun there from Pushka, so Ghost Stick. He will be barely able to survive here, not in range, not in vision for the Nature's Prophet ultimate to bounce through. Ooh, that was potentially dangerous there for him.
Yeah, very dangerous. Failed to get out. Great play there by the Earth Spirit to help his buddy out. Bignum is just being a complete nuisance. Actually, normally you see a...
Oh god, no, not again.
FN.
Oh, just as nighttime ends, the silence still lasts into the daytime. Bushka will TP too late. FN figured, alright, it's about to hit daytime, what can happen, right? He still gets caught out.
Yeah, it's actually pretty crazy how big an effect that this Night Stalker has had in this game. Bignum playing really well. Normally when you see a Night Stalker roam this much, either one or two things happen. Normally it's that they kind of fall behind a little bit and have to sit in lane during this second day phase, but he doesn't have to. He's been playing extremely well. He's almost level 6 before 10 minutes, so he can actually still play pretty aggressively.
Yep.
In the lane.
He has the 3 points up into the void, so even though it doesn't have as much of a slow attached to it, but it still does a shit ton of damage, right? 255, it scales extremely well in that regard.
Yeah, it's a huge nuke. He has his phase boots done. Like, Bignum's feeling pretty good.
Yeah. Same time, so does Sven though. If you look at the net worth, he's way ahead right now. Even he still has some of these ancient stacks to take. Well, he has the Mask of Madness, has the treads, and now we'll be able to finish up the tier 1 tower bottom. There's an aggressive movement for me, Porsche here, just trying to intercept anyone who would come to try and defend it.
Maybe scouting if someone's there, put a ward. Maybe trying to bait out a counter ward. Doesn't have one on him, but maybe trying to see something about that. In terms of levels, though, I want to talk about the levels right quick. Pushka is right now currently sitting at level 3. AA is level 5, so it's not too bad. Supports for Team Gambit. Level 4 Bane is doing alright. Bignum is sitting at level 5, which is pretty good for him. He's about to hit level 6 if he sticks around in this mid lane. Just a little while. Do you think the Vance Core AA Blast is going to come like to that much effect in terms of trying to do these counter ganks?
It could, really could. At the same time, all of the cores are rather tanky, at least when it comes to the Troll Warlord. When he's buying into some strength items, look like he's going for Mask of Madness himself right now, though. So yeah. You still need to hit it, and you still need a lot of extra help at level 1, especially after the AA blast. It can be quite underwhelming if you're just accustomed to what it can do in the later parts of the game.
That's true. Team Empire making a move, or maybe bottom lane. They're actually going to make a push. So the two teams making a push for both safe laners, or both safe lane towers.
The goals on Fly and Vensko both will be just fine though. Let's just scout him out here inside the trees in the bottom lane. But so far, yeah, should be just a 1-for-1 trade. Chappy, I'm in the guard strength for it. Not sure about this one, but hey, it's a fairly low cooldown.
Just pop it, you'll be fine. Not much contention, no one's defending any towers. Alright, both teams just trading farm.
So where do you think this will lead? I mean, we talked about the Sven farm, but Darkseid also not too shabby either. He went for the Holy Defiance here to protect himself against a lot of that magic damage. So, and you mentioned in draft how good of a Sven counter he is. So, are they really worried themselves, Gambit, about Chappy being so strong?
I mean, they have to be. I mean, they do have some tools in terms of kiting him, but they have the AA Blast, and the rest of the team fight is available for Team Empire, so they have to... It's not just Chappy there, they have to control everybody. As they're going to continue pushing this bottom lane, and they actually almost have it.
Yeah, Ghostic looking for the tower deny, but now Miposhka might have to run in, throws down the stun, now the Ice Blast will connect into Darkseid. No follow-up control, no blink vacuum, anything from Darks here. was also silenced up by Bignum, so yeah, they get a tier 2 for free.
Yeah.
Something that we haven't talked about, this pushing power of the Nature's Prophet, just being there with the tree and tanking and just slowly right-clicking away.
Yeah, they have 2 range heroes, or actually they can have up to 3 range heroes, maybe up to 2 with 1 melee with Kuman. Just having that Troll Warlord ulti with all the treants and the Nature's Prophet, he does good right-click damage, and they're actually going to continue pushing. Maybe they feel that Team Empire does not have the means to stop this, and I don't think they do. They would have to commit like a Queen of Pain ulti. They don't have a wall. They don't have magnetize.
They have no blink daggers either on either Darkseer or Sven, so getting into this fight and starting up the crowd control is a challenge in its own right now. Yeah, look at this, here in the Fushka.
Yeah, they're all floating there right now. Yeah, Kuman is taking up that stack.
Yeah.
And they're even going to block it.
Radiant did scan that out, so they knew that someone was up there.
Mm-hmm. And they're actually going to get their Observer Ward taken out. That always feels bad. Wrestle support. And you put your ward down and immediately gets dewarded. It's like, well, there goes my life. But yeah, actually something that is pretty big here, but we might see come up later in this third night. As actually they're smoking around.
Yep.
They know that everyone is currently residing in this mid lane. They were able to put down these 2 here and here, so they can get deeper wards into the Radiant jungle. So the amount of information that Gambit has is a lot. Maybe Chappie might get caught out here, surrounded by
smoke and counter smoke. They'll figure out where he's at now. The Fiend script to start with the rest of his team gang top, but that's obviously when nobody is. Gonna be able to bring him down eventually, and well, with any luck with Darkseid Thorn on his ultimate. Yeah, they're looking for a stack too. Kuman coming in. Oh man, that was just very interesting tactical movements here, or strategic movements, I guess. I don't know what the right term is. Just both teams smoking up. One team wrapping around, the other one just going up top. Both teams kind of expecting the other to just go back to farming. And this time around, Gambit, they were the ones coming out ahead.
Yeah, they're coming out massively. They're getting that huge stack from Sven. I think it was about a triple stack, and
yeah,
it's just they're going on their lead here. They're running it pretty well. It's exactly what they needed.
Yeah. And slowed down significantly. He was like more than 1,000 gold ahead. Now look at Kuman. That kill with the Ancient stack, 6.4k. What do you have? Mathematic is looking for the Yasha now.
Yeah, man, this guy's farming up a storm.
So what does Empire do now?
I mean, they need to be able to group up. They finally have their magnetize up, so 4 out of their big team fights ultimates are there for them. They have not used. I've not seen a Sonic Wave used once actually. So they're actually going to go way in.
Use it now. Bane comes in. The Ice Blast will not even graze him. So yeah, there it is. Sonic Wave to get the kill. Boschka will die in return. Did get the magnetize off, so Gambit will be dissuaded from continuing to chase for any further kills, but not looking too well.
Yeah, it seemed a little bit desperate there from Team Empire going in for always want to fly like that. Support under the tier 1 tower with no vision on the other heroes. It seemed just a little bit messy there.
Top lane actually rooted. Cheshire Cat has that, but no further control.
Oh, Cheshire Cat went Rod of Atos. Did not see this before. What do you think about this?
Kind of the beauty of the Nature's Prophet too, isn't it? That you don't really have a fixed item build and you go for items like this to counter out the biggest threat that you perceive. And in this case, yeah, I want to say it is still FN. So, being able to root him out like that. Chappie, he found himself an Invis rune. Could turn into something here. No Sonic Wave, but a couple of extra nukes. Godstrength committing from Sven. They could potentially finish Kuman here. That would be a big kill indeed.
He's thinking about it. Where he can TP in, but
get some help. FN. Would have slowed down. The Ice Blast will not quite connect. Just a little bit too late. Now the TP in from Cheshire Cat. I could have maybe completed it, but Chappie, in the end, he gets the last swipe and right the kill. Instead, looking for Miposhka in mid. Gets silenced up. A couple of right kicks there from Cheshire Cat and Bignum. Should be enough to finish him here, especially with the extra control from the roots. Also, just need to prevent the roll, but they actually can't. With the stun onto Bignum from Miposhka. Managing to play his way out of there.
Yeah, getting those moves on. But I think Bignum might be able to finish this kill. One more right click.
Oh, still chasing, isn't he? That is, yeah. FN.
He does not have a TP.
Even if he did, FN would be able to cancel it with the dual step of his. So now, especially with daytime, Bignum has to pay for that kill with his own life. And that's not really worth it. It's a big mega kill streak going the way of the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, FN getting that kill. It's pretty good. So this is where Team Empire might be able to make their comeback. They're getting their items. Darkseer mech is done. Their team fight is strong. They have their first item on FN, which is going to opt for the Eagle Scepter, take off the silence, and maybe counter some Bane plays or counter some troll initiations. So the items are coming in for Team Empire. They might feel a little bit more confident to make more aggressive movements.
Also went for the mech from Darkseer, so yeah, it looks like they want to be able to group up and be aggressive, but so far, like, what objectives are we even to easily take with that at this point? They already took all the tier 1 towers.
I mean, for Gambit?
For Empire.
Empire, they're missing the tier 1 mid, and that would be their next objective there. They are going to miss that kill up on Chest Arcade in the top lane, but looks like Gambit might respond with a smoke player and aggressive movement of their own. They're going to just deward. But yeah, they're going to... For Team Empire, it's the mid 1 tower. That's probably the next player. Either than that, they're going to try to gank. But as I say that, they're grouping up top for this tier 2 top lane. As maybe they saw 3 heroes of that ward down there, so maybe they thought, hey, they can't respond to us. We get some free damage on this tower and just sit behind and protect FN.
An opportunity here, always want to fly and makes the first rotation, but him alone. If he shows himself, has to be very, very careful. Vanskor throwing out some spells, but the Empire doesn't feel quite comfortable. I have no vision of everyone else on the map right now. No one's continuing to push bottom in turn, so yeah, a safe play to make. Little do they know that Gambit wasn't actually gunning for them. So Kuman gets some extra space to farm up. He does have the Sanj and Yasha completed here, just has to have it flown out. Has the BKB queued up next. It's the same for Razor now. 3 of them will smoke up behind the Troll Warlord. Is this a Roche play perhaps, or they're looking for a kill? Well, I guess they're answering the question themselves. That's going to be Pushka, and with the nighttime being popped, they should figure out that this is happening. They're grouping up accordingly. Looking up themselves now. That is so sick. Chappy might be looking to bait out FN, and the one who's not smoked, just pushing out the creep wave. But Gambit's still hanging around in the general area. But what Bignum with the Invisum, that is still the initiation, or what I thought could be an initiation. Chappy pops his ultimate, blinks into the Roche pit. Instead, they're taking this as an opportunity, going for Roshan themselves, and it's falling pretty damn fast. With the God Strength with the Mask of Man is down to half health already. I'm not sure if Gambit actually realized this. He smoked into the pit. No worries. Yeah, they smoked into the pit, and Gambit have no idea.
Yeah, I think Bignum might have a little bit of an idea, but because he's floating around there, but yeah, just gonna let it go. Roshan for Team Empire now. I think this is where they turn. They turn their luck here.
Well, slightly behind in terms of net worth, but having that Aegis available on FN just enables you to be so much more aggressive. But hey, right now they see him up top, Bignum. Taking charge, he's flying, slowing down Vanskor, and should be that ancient apparition, especially with Darkseid out Bignum in range and Ghostic. Nice route there here, vacuum wall. Turn this around and he eats his way through the Sprout. Chappy on the low ground though, unable to really do much more rather than except to sort of stun. That's Gambit who's still put on pressure of their own. 5-man lineup. It is nighttime for another 2.5 minutes, so they have that going for them. It will easily be able to take a tier 2.
Easy tower for them. They know that sustain isn't there. Dastek's going up on FN. FN looks away. Goodbye.
Yep.
The Farm Fest continues. I really like Gambit's war position. They got a deep one in the jungle, and they have one back here catch all those rotations. Anybody's going to be farming, trying to run up this lane or going into the jungle.
Yep.
But
Whoa.
FN?
You almost solo kill FN there? Like, I assume that was Nature's Prophet ultimate bouncing through as well, so... Like, yeah. Okay.
Like.
So FN technically, if you knew that TP was happening, could blink up to the high ground and oh, and cancel it, but yeah, it's got the vision a little bit too late. Would have been a good one to just to trigger that Aegis immediately.
Yeah, it would have been. It would have allowed them to continue pushing. Maybe that Gambit feels that they can't go for a full 5-on-5 push right now just because of that Aegis. And FN is building pretty defensively. He has a Yule Scepter. He's going for Lincolns. Not what you entirely want to do on a Queen of Pain. You want to be able to play very aggressive, get your Veil, get your your Orchid, maybe your Aghanims if you want to have more. You want to use that ultimate for a lower cooldown and whatnot, more damage. But he's playing very defensive. Maybe he feels that he can get his damage off. And their team fight is pretty impressive on the side of Empire. So he just feels that if I just get my abilities off, my team will win. And so he believes in the power of friendship.
Yeah.
They might try to go on FN though. She gets blinks away.
The only downside of having that ability on Light Stalker is that whenever you throw it out at daytime, it's pretty obvious what you're trying to do. So, unless like right before nighttime, which it is right now anyway. So
he popped it up on the right time.
Top lane, they find this one instead though. Look at this. Oh, who else? Wait. Gripped, right-clicked by a million tiny trees. Can't feel good.
Space created. That's what you tell yourself. That's what you tell yourself and your team. You're like, space. I made space,
guys. I found them.
I told you. I found them. I told you where 3 of them are. Everyone is safe to farm. Don't worry. It's okay.
Should lose the tier 1 tower here as well.
Yeah, I don't. They could try to defend it, but Empire does have a. It's not going to be daytime for another 4 minutes. They did actually have a ward back here, but I got swiftly dewarded. So yeah, I don't expect that they would try to go for this push, and I'll just back up.
That was so odd. Like, when it was Night Stalker nighttime, I was hovering over that and said like 30 seconds until night, unless I misread that. No, it's
it was 30 seconds till daytime. I think the timer when the Night Stalker ultimate comes out, the icon comes out a little bit weird.
Yeah.
It looks a little different. I don't think it says like day and night time. I need to check it.
It was just 30 seconds till returning to night, and then just after it turned into daytime.
Yeah. It's a little strange.
Yeah.
The way when they reworked it, they have that the notification is like 3 minutes until nighttime or 2 minutes until daytime.
Well, regardless, a little bit of time of safety here for Team Empire, at least until the ultimate comes back off cooldown.
I think Queen of Pain actually has a little bit of an extended night vision, so maybe that's why they popped the ultimate there, so they can get a little bit closer to her.
Yep.
But who knows? They're gonna go for this tier 2 tower, and it should be given to them. Their Aegis is still up.
Another 20 seconds or so it's very short time window if they're banking on that to keep them safe.
It's the timing. Both pro teams are very good about their timings. They know exactly when the Aegis gets taken and when it's going to be reclaimed. So it's like, do not get baited here. Let it go.
So far so good. Miposhka and Chappie, they're still smoked up. It's about to expire. Same as the Aegis. But now look at this. Oh man, up on the shrine, it's not active, and Boschka stunned on 2, followed there from Chappie. This is a great initiation. Kuman barely able to keep himself alive now. The Fiend's group from this Fenris Darksack. He's just fueling up on damage, and he will be able to finish it off, but at what cost? 3 heroes down already, super low on health too. And even with all this damage, it's not enough to protect himself. Triple kill for Ghostic. Oh my god, Gambit was just ready to group up and move out themselves, but they get caught with their pants down.
Yeah, they was like, oh, we're all gonna shrine, we're gonna be so great, and then boom, here comes Miposhka, here comes Ghostic, they got all that damage, and everyone's dead. First BKB usage by Troller, that was his 10-second BKB, and he just gets completely demolished.
Yeah. Just trying to run away, but he's not able to do that. Catching 2 people there with that stun, easy follow-up there from the Sven.
I think it was like a 3 to 4 hero Sonic wave. So the damage is very real on the side of Deep Empire, and that's just an example of their team fight potential that they can use. Shabby might feel a little sad because FN blinked in and he had his Yules up and he could have cancelled the Fiend's grip.
Yeah. That's a silver lining for Gambit, right? They still got the Sven at the very least.
They still got the Sven.
Yeah. Well, Ghostlick got his own blink off of that fight too, so the combo potential is there now. Blink Vacuum into Blink Stun from Shabby immediately. Gotta watch out for this one, or else these kind of team fights happen again and again.
Yeah, for sure. In terms of items, Just Our Cat has grabbed an Orchid. Queen of Pain is working towards her own, almost there. BKB, that was the first use of the Chappy BKB, but as we saw, the Fiend's Grip was a very powerful counter against that. Going forward, I think that Gambit, I mean, that's going to be a little bit worrisome just because they did group up like that in a very small area. But they did see that, you know, maybe if we can just not all get caught and get a little bit better on our spacing, the team fight can go a little bit better. Just because the majority of the damage before the Sonic Wave did come in from Chappy. So it's like, okay, if we can cancel out Chappy's team fight, then it could be fine for us. As maybe they're going to jump in on this Razor mid lane, but guess not. They're actually going to rotate top.
Just movement here, Kuman always on the fly. Didn't quite see Bignum, I believe, because he was in his that, but that is Chappy with the ultimate blinking across. Versus FN here, but gets Fiend's Grip up, and so Chappy now finds a stun. Vacuum only always on the fly, and Kuman, he just bashes him up. He's winning that fight. Chappy dies. FN with the ultimate on the side, trying to repair the damage here, but only one for on trade. Not exactly a favorable one. Vaxing Cheshire Cat on one side, meanwhile Kuman is bashing down the Ancient Apparition as a secondary casualty. Oh no, that was... What happened there? Yeah, was Chappy not finding the right target?
Yeah, Chappy not finding the right target. He got kind of caught up by himself. The BKB, the Ice Blast only went on the troll, but his BKB was already up, so no damage came in. He didn't get vacuumed. I don't think he got into that wall damage either. And then FN just got taken out of that fight immediately. I mean, he lived, but he just couldn't get anything else.
This troll wall with the Bash Lords, like 1v1 troll wall beats a lot of other carries.
Yeah, unless they're ranged and able to kite him, it's really difficult to try to fight him. But yeah, that's exactly what Team Gambit needed. They needed to not all get caught together in that vacuum and then Sven cleave, and then it's fine.
Damn, Miposhka committing for his ultimate just to get the creep wave down, prevent this push from going too far. But Gambit didn't even really put on a lot of emphasis on it anyway.
Yeah, this is the part of the game that's going to get a little bit hard for Team Empire. The BKBs are still high level. That was Nature's Prophet is working on his own BKB. That was the second uses the BKB for Razor. So scan will come out from the Radiance. Always want to fly is falling in the mid lane.
It survived the Orchid burns where Poshka was just sitting there ready to finish him off if necessary. Oh god. You know, well, BKB pop now, turning things around, still missing 84 damage. Oh, he gets a double stun! Vacuum into the wall, Ice Blast won't finish up Cheshire Cat. Kuman turning to try and fight because, well, that's all he can do. And Chappy, well, he actually needs some help, gets bashed up again, and he falls. FN, he really wants to finish this kill. Yule Scepter, Darkseid is in the middle of that as well. He can turn and fight if he wants to, but he chooses to say, no, let's get the hell out of here. Dignum as well. Looks to be caught here as fourth hero in this series of events. Gambit losing quite a bit here despite being able to get the turnaround kill at the very least.
Yeah, huge balls there. From Kuman is like, no, I fight to the death.
What's he do at this point, right? Like,
I mean, he was rewarded for it. He took out the Sven.
Yeah, it is. Initiation from Miposhka was actually not ideal. Silence there on to the Bane. Darkseid a little bit too scary. To hold on to the high ground with Razor keeping himself alive in that fight.
Yeah, but this might start turning into the FN show. I think keep playing these fights like this where they just basically bait out Chappy into these fights and then make them waste their abilities on him. FN can kind of clean up. I mean, they were able to catch out the two big targets with the troll and I think it was the Night Stalker as well on that double stun. So they can play these fights like this and give FN the timing he needs to get his abilities off, then things might go well for Empire.
Oh, Gambit. Let that sit on them. It is night times. Never mind, it was nighttime, so it is daytime again now. If you want to be aggressive, they're gonna have to pop that ultimate and make it a little bit more obvious. But they do have the smoke and always want to fly, they're kind of grouping up. I'm trying to bait out one of their cores in the middle lane. They don't want to sit on their asses, they're just finished up a big item on the Razor. Not the most common one, but in this game, definitely something that you can make use of, especially against the Sven.
That's true. They're able to catch him before his BKB out, and his BKB is starting to run low. It's on the bottom half of its charges, 7 seconds. This is not usually the position that you want to be in for Sven. Normally, when you pick up that BKB, you want to be able to take out the towers and maybe challenge for high ground. Personally, for me, I see BKB as an item that allows you to end the game. Just because of how it scales, and you can't buy a new one. It's not how it used to be a few years ago.
Yep.
And that's just kind of the item that you want to use to finish it out. If you're using your BKB for these kind of mid-game fights, then it's kind of you're going to struggle in the late game if you're not too far ahead. But smoke up for Gambit.
Yep.
See what their target is.
They know that FN is just kind of doing shenanigans up top, sending up Trins. Also looking for the Roche pit. The big guy's back up now, so control of this area is very useful. Vanscore will be caught out. Chappie turning things around though. Now Kuman needs some bashes here to protect his friend, but the Sprout also creating enough space. And that is Ice Blast will connect. Chappie is still going strong, but now no more BKB. FN with his ultimate, not really doing too much here. And finally they bring down Sven 2 years down. Everyone it's kind of taking super low with the damage over time, and it is the Nature's Prophet who dies first. Troll Waller also very low. Just needs to heal himself, but he can't. Fiend screw up there, not quite enough to finish up FN. But it is Darkseid still very much alive and kicking. Big Nim 4-star forward here. The Iron Shot almost finishing him off, but he's still fast enough. Ghostsick pops a shrine. Darkseid not confident enough to continue here. And, well, him and FN might even be able to finish him off now. No TP on cooldown for another couple of seconds. And yeah.
Got him.
Damn, it actually works out worse for them than I thought it might have.
Yeah, that's what happens when your whole team runs through a wall.
Yeah.
You just get, it turns into a 10v5. Life gets hard for you when you have to go against twice too many heroes. But yeah, that was really well played there. Sven was able to get the stun off, and he was able to get Night Stalker really low, and even though he had to run away from the troll and he got focused down, FN was able to get a lot of that damage in that he needed. Phoenician up Shiva's guard.
Yeah. About to work away at Roshan now as well. Not the fastest one though, we'll need Chappie to finish it off quickly. But he's respawning a couple of seconds, and Gambit is still not back in fighting shape. Just Razor dying so late in the team fight means that he won't be up in time to try and contest this, even if Kuman is.
For this too, just to finish it off quickly.
Yeah. Aegis and Cheese now in the hands of Empire.
I think this is the correct decision on terms of Cheese and Aegis placement. FN has been kind of carrying their team fights in terms of how it ends. If he lives at the end, then usually the fight goes well.
Yeah. Then there's 3.4k health points with God's Ring active, so... Yeah.
Chappie just needs to be able to continue to do damage. Getting the cheese on him is the correct decision.
Oh, it's a tower deny at the very least. EP in there from Cheshire Cat, but finding quite a few more than he bargained for. They're still committing heavily on this Ancient Apparition first, even popping the BKB to protect himself, but Empire making the call not to fight this one.
Yeah. Vanscore is getting picked on a little bit. Feels bad.
Yep.
Maybe if he gets that level 15 talent, he gets that that plus 30 health regen. Just to live a little bit longer in these team fights if he's able to space himself out a little bit.
Such an odd talent to have for a support hero like that.
Oh, it's the best talent. It feels so good. Like, once you get that talent AA, then you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah. It's
So
plus 30
much
FPS, plus 30 DPS that the enemy team has to do.
Oh my god, talent that affects your computer?
Yeah. Misspoke there, but that would be... I don't know how I would feel about that, to be honest.
Just get a talent, get 30 more frames per second.
Yeah.
That feel pretty good. I don't want that talent. But we're gonna see a smoke up from Gambit. There's a DD on Kuman.
Oh no, but Chappie's running right into them. Fiend's gonna start with, and well, even with the BKB, gets bashed up just at the right time. Ice Balls will connect and BKB up heroes, but Ghostic in a bit of trouble as well. The Root Wall keeping in range. Another couple, but Force Staff just barely in time. Get him back up to the high ground instead. They might find a FN here. The Silence to start off with Bushka though with a big ultimate. He will give up his own life worth, but maybe he's setting up for FN. They'll finish up Bignum. That's a gem on attack for the time being. Ghostic with a vacuum. Brings down Aloys on a fly and even recovers the gem. What a big play there from Empire.
Boy, they turned around that fight pretty nicely considering how it started.
Yeah, surgical precision there to just try and get the most out of this. I mean, Miposhka with a big play, they're starting the damage off, Bignum dropping low, FN getting the snipe, and then even afterwards, Ghostic is moving in and snatching the gem off the ground.
Yeah, that's actually probably the biggest, just because if you look at the network chart, or the team fight recap, it came out to about 150 to 1,100. In terms of the network or the goal change, but getting the gem off of Team Gambit's side kind of evens that up. So even though, like, yeah, in terms of the heroes that they traded, it definitely favored Gambit. How they able to salvage it and also get that gem off the Night Stalker, pretty huge. I mean, it's already difficult enough to maintain vision for when you're playing against a Night Stalker, but taking away his gem is just miles and miles of benefits.
Yep. Looks like there's any big invis heroes here on the side of Empire, but it's just about the wards. We should be able to find this one in middle lane sooner rather than later. There it is now.
Got it. Ooh, I really like this Lotus Over pickup from Darkseer, from Ghostic.
Oh yeah.
It's going to help a lot in terms of countering out some abilities. If they're able to just put that on the Sven and keep him getting Fiend's Gripped or maybe even Enfeebled or Slept, it'd be pretty good.
Yep. Top tier 1 tower finally goes down. Dasher Cat will bring his army of trees forward as well for the tier 2, so technically right now Empire is trading 2 for 1 towers. Unless they want to go high ground, but looks like they will TP all back now. I guess tier 2 not quite dead just yet, and Gambit don't want to commit anything. Oh, Aegis and She's available, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, Aegis still on them. FN finishing up a full Bloodthorn. It's gonna be pretty good considering that Kuman is now starting on this Butterfly, so able to counter out any evasion on the side of Gambit that they might have. Also, the Heaven's Halberd also giving evasion for Daxak. Is that how you say his name? Daxak?
I say Daxak. Probably wrong, but well, I haven't been yelled at for it yet, so.
Well, I would call him DK, but I don't think that's right either. just for my own sake.
Oh, Aegis has been reclaimed. Bottom lane. Oh, that's that Nature's Prophet. It's wanted to split push. Wasn't allowed to, and now it's Gambit forced into a very defensive position here. Up with their own high ground.
When Pashka kicking Chappie's like, go, my child, push.
That's what he wants to do. He has the Lotus off the top of him. Blinkton straight for the kill here onto Kuman. If they can bring him down, this will be big. And with the Ice Blast, they will get their wish. Two is down. Yeah, you're right. With no buyback in either of them, they'll get it on Cheshire Cat, but I don't know how much he can do here. Chappie just makes a beeline straight for the big carry, and well, root it down for 2 seconds, but the male racks have already fallen. FN, link forward, Daxak. Well, this Ghoststick just threatening, forcing out BKBs while Rex still fall. Double Force Staff. Queen of Pain still gets a blink out. Gambit have to take it on chin here. They get nothing in return.
They're gonna go mid lane now. They know that Troll hasn't bought back yet. They might figure that he has no buyback, considering they haven't bought back yet. Yeah.
Got a stun here just to keep him away. Shrine Order force out. Vacuum into a bit of a nothing. Just doing objective-based gaming here. Chappie does not have his ultimate running anymore, so a crazy amount of damage, especially if what little he has is also taken away from Daxak. They're still committing here. They're still bringing down the second melee racks. Another blink stun again, just to keep them away, just to keep them guessing. Silence up on Green of Pain. Ben really committing hard enough. Triple stun, vacuum on absolutely everybody. The free scope immediately cancelled, and well, it's just way too much power. And Gambit might just straight up lose this game right here, right now.
Yeah, I mean, I would figure that they might want to stick around, but this is not looking great for them.
Might last long enough for Chappie to get another God Strength. That'll help him to last remaining tier 3.
Yeah, they're gonna call GG.
GG is called. Kuman, he wants to get one more kill, but 4 stars just prevents him from doing that. Gets some bashes. Chappie eats the cheese in the end. Game number 1 goes in favor of Team Empire.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Feels good.
It's really good, yeah.
Team Empire, you know, they show up a little late, but, you know, that's what you do. You show up in style.
Yeah.
Style on them.
42 minutes. So, who'd you say was the big linchpin from Team Empire?
Here, it's just hard to tell. Just because, I mean, they all played so well, and with one another. I mean, I want to say that FN. I mean, just how he played might be MVP in terms of his item build. I don't think if he built any other, it's definitely unconventional the way he built, but I don't think that if he built in any other way, he would not have had the game that he had. That being said, I feel that Miposhka and Ghostic, in terms of their combinations, were really well in terms of starting the fights, and Chappie being able to play that frontliner for his mid laner. It's just kind of all a team effort there. I know that Vanscourt got killed off a couple times, but you know when the other team has lifesteal with that Mask of Madness on Kuman, it can make a huge difference in terms of how they can sustain their fight. So I would not give the MVP to anyone in Team Empire, and I just give it to the whole team. They all played pretty well and playing off each other.
Alright, so setting themselves up for success. They need to win one more game in this best of 3 if they want to continue to the winners bracket final. Gambit still has a chance to do it themselves, but they have to win 2 in a row. I'm Dragon Drop, I'm joined by Delta Foxtrot Bravo, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes, so don't go too far away.